I'm Imran.
And I'm Tyler.
And you're listening to One More for Safety, where we believe every film deserves a second take.
You're goddamn right.
Okay, great. Tyler, how are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Happy to be here. Happy that you've brought me back for a second time. You know.
I brought you back.
Although this is technically the first time. Yeah.
But the listeners don't need to know that.
No, that's right. That's right.
We did have a pilot episode that we shot as the way of working out the format and stuff like that.
It was a test shoot.
It was a test shoot.
Yeah.
It was a test shoot. We watched Constantine. It
Mm-hmm.
was, I thought, maybe a Halloween style release.
Yeah.
That did not happen because I didn't.
Halloween came and went,
flew by because I wasn't entirely happy. So this is our second go around because we also deserve a second take.
Exactly.
You know what? I brought you back. You're back here
I really appreciate it. I really need the opportunity to.
I think we'll do it properly this time.
What are we watching this time, Imran?
Well, Tyler, we are watching Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Wow. Now this one I have been excited for.
Yeah.
But also have not seen, just through procrastination, I think. I've been procrastinating watching this movie.
Wait, what year are we in? Did this come out this year? I can't remember now. Wait, let me get the box. Hold on a second.
We should have done research into this before, but...
We should have, but part of the fun is that we kind of
things.
discover it. Yeah, exactly.
We discover it as we go along. We go on an adventure with these characters.
It came out last year. And
it wasn't in the nomination for the Oscars. Like
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Best
this is why we're here. This is why we're here, you know?
No, but funnily enough, you said you haven't watched it, hence why I've picked it. But I also agreed to watch it because I have seen it once in the theaters. I was really excited to, because it's made by the guys who did Game Night. I'm trying to remember their names. Hold on, I'm just double checking the box if I can get a lifeline from the box, but I can't. No, wait, the inner box is gonna give you a lifeline. John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, who did Game Night with Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman, which I really love.
You've
I
told
think
me
it's
numerous
really
times
funny.
that you've loved that film.
I love that film. You haven't seen it yet, so
No, I have not seen it.
Maybe a future episode of the podcast. But I love it, and I was really excited to go watch this because it's them. They're doing Dungeons and Dragons. I love D&D. Obviously, we both love D&D.
Yeah.
And then I saw it once in the theater, and I was like, it was fine, I guess. I was whelmed. I was perfectly whelmed by
reasonably whelmed
by the movie. But everyone was loving it. A lot of people that I like, you know, like film writers and stuff that I follow were like, this is great. And I was like,
I've heard good things about this. Nothing but good things about it.
I've heard a ton of good things about it. And then I was like, oh, I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I didn't like it more. So maybe second go around with a little distance, maybe I overhyped it in my head.
I think that
maybe I'm coming into it with the right amount of...
Yeah. I haven't watched this film, but I'm coming at this film as an expert. So I'm solely just going to be basing this on how accurate it is to the Dungeons and Dragons world, which I also don't play in that world specifically. But
we always play modified versions. However,
I'm gonna be the actually to all of the spells.
Every time they say something even remotely wrong, you jump on that.
That's a 10-round spell.
That's like minus a star already off that. That's docking points.
But it's got a good cast.
It's got a great cast.
You know, I'm excited to see Hugh Grant in his
villain era.
Yeah,
we were talking about
phase.
this the other day. Hugh Grant in The Heretic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to see that.
Great villain turn. Yes. I feel it's not really a spoiler because actually it is in the trailer that he's the bad guy.
It's pretty.
So we know that's coming.
I know he's an antagonist.
Yeah.
I saw that there's them, and then you've got the wizards, I think, or something like that.
In white robes.
Yeah. Different movie.
But the cast is great. Chris Pine, obviously in it, fantastic. I'm still waiting for a Star Trek 4. with that.
It's not happening, bro. It's never ever gonna happen, man.
One can dream. I really loved Beyond. That's why I'm like.
Yeah, that was the one that had the Beastie Boys song in the trailer.
That's not why I love it, but it's also a bonus.
It's a factor in this. This doesn't have a Beastie Boys track in it though. That we know of.
We know of.
That we know of.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. It's not.
Damn it.
We can add one.
Yeah,
I can improv you a Beastie Boys needle drop
sing it
midway
to me.
through.
Yeah. You can sing it to me.
We'll do which one? Which song do you want? I will do it in that high falsetto that they always do.
I think you need to. Fight for your right is a.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because then you can just come in with the.
Yeah. You gotta fight for your right to party.
Yeah,
exactly. We'll throw that in.
We'll chuck it
randomly.
We'll chuck it in really loudly as well for our listeners, just so then they know when it comes in.
They'll know. It'll be part of their experience.
Yeah.
But yes, Chris Pine's in it. I'm trying to remember her name. It's the girl from that first It movie.
Oh yeah. The young girl. I thought you were talking about the lady that's the pilot in Avatar that I always forget is in that movie.
Oh, Letty in all the Fast and Furious movies. Oh gosh, what's her name?
Who's also the pilot lady from Avatar.
Yeah, she is also just pops up randomly in Avatar, and I always forget that she's in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Michelle Rodriguez is who we're thinking of. Michelle Rodriguez. And Sophia Lillis is who I was thinking of, who is the girl from the first It movie.
Good cast. The only thing the one thing I'm actually really looking forward to is I saw an interview or like a kind of like press like junket or whatever for the film, and Hugh Grant was like, oh, the reason why I went for this film is because it oddly reminds me of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And I'm like, yes, this is the kind of like, totally, kind of the vibe that we want for a D&D.
I can see that. It's Monty Python and the Holy Grail with heightened powers.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
Oh my God, imagine they met the Black Knight and
Imagine, Monty Python needs to come back.
I don't know if we want a John Cleese now doing comedy.
Yeah,
like
he's kind of upset with a lot of things.
Yeah. If it's Eric Idle doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe not. But excited to revisit this. I think maybe we'll see if we can bump up my 3-star Letterboxd rating.
Is that actually what it was?
Yeah, I put it at 3 stars on Letterboxd.
We can up those numbers. Those are rookie numbers.
We can up those numbers. So, we're gonna have a watch of Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. If you want to listen along with us, make sure you tune in next week for the commentary track, full length. It's free. It'll be on the podcast feed.
It's the best part.
It's
the best part is us just going ums and ahs and
trying to fill dead air, cracking jokes,
and you're gonna
maybe
love it.
when we shouldn't be.
Yeah, exactly.
And missing important details.
Yes. And then in between discussing what we might have for food.
We are very hungry right now. And we are trying to figure out what to eat after this recording session is over. So we will figure, who knows? Chinese, could be Thai.
Listeners in the comments, maybe
let us know.
Let us know what you think.
Write in, tell us what.
And next week, find out what we decided.
So if you want to listen to that, make sure you follow the podcast. Tune in next week for the commentary track. But this is us and our thoughts on Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your book. What are you listening to?
Oh, it's One More for Safety. No one's ever thought of this before. It's a film podcast where sometimes they make jokes.
This is Ani. You are listening to One More for Safety. Keep listening.
Hey, Imran here. If you're enjoying us ramble on about movies, make sure you follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or that suspicious CD vendor on the street. Don't worry, he's cool. It's just Tyler.
Hi. Whoa, we're back.
Oh.
Wow, whoa.
Tyler stole the intro from me. We are back.
What a journey we've been on.
Oh my goodness.
And true adventure.
True adventure. We have just finished watching Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. What did you think, Tyler?
I actually thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
That's great.
I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. That's all I've got to say.
No, that's it now. End of podcast.
It was good. No, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. How long is the film? It's like 2 hours.
I think it was 2 hours, 18 minutes.
Didn't feel like 2 hours 18. I think it actually went by quite
it flew by.
Yeah, quite breezy.
It flew by. Yeah, I mean, second go around for me. First time for you.
Yes.
So what was your first impressions?
You know what? I do have to say it does feel like a proper D&D adventure. Like that, I will say that they got that like pretty much hit nail on the head kind of shit. You know,
The vibe of it.
I think if I had one tiny like thing is like the issue that I sometimes have with it being like loosey-goosey magic is that you never really know how magical the world is. Like they're like, because when we see Simon, he's doing like this kind of like parlor trick shit with his magic. And there's that woman that's like, my 5-year-old could do that magic. Can that 5-year-old literally do magic? Like we don't know how accessible magic is necessarily. But again, I feel like it's so hand waved over because you just know that it's a magical world. Like we don't even, it's never once, I don't think we ever get the name Faerun dropped.
They do.
Once. Really?
Yeah, they do mention it.
All right.
They say Fae and then Faerun a few times.
Yeah, but like it's never like, there's no like
but they're not out there
myth.
saying,
there's no creation myth for it.
They're not
It's
dropping
just,
like Mistra at any point or anything like that, right? It's kind of...
Yeah, there's no real creation myth of like, this is the world that, like, kind of like, I think they could have very easily fallen into the same trap that the Lord of the Rings made, which was having the monologue at the beginning explaining the world, which I'm saying Lord of the Rings did well. That's why they made the trap, but that's why there's been so many other films that have then
like
fallen into it.
Front load the exposition and then just
didn't need to do that. You just smashed straight into this like world. And the prison part, which by the way, that prison part is really funny. It gets you
because it's
quite
like
well into it, you know.
It's like it's giving you the kind of classic exposition backstory of our leads, as it were, but like also kind of like lampshading it by having this kind of running joke of like him saying it to the council. Yeah, it's great.
Where's that time on Jonathan?
I would really like to tell Jonathan about this. I feel like he's missing some important context.
Yeah, I do think it's I do think that is a pretty fun moment to start on immediately.
I agree. I mean, in general, all the set pieces are really well done. I think a lot.
I was like very surprised by the action, like the choreography, and the camera work of it. Like there's a lot of just very fun camera movement and twirls and twists and
the camera's very like active.
Yeah, it's a very active part of the film.
Yeah. I mean, like just off the top of my head, some standout ones are like the oneer where she's swapping through all the wild shapes.
That wild shape oneer. If I've got to give credit to this film in any way, it has made druids look cool again. Like, for sure.
Druids finally getting getting their due.
I like druids, but famously they're like the hardest class to fucking get your head around. Yeah. And it is like...
They're very much an RP class.
Yeah, I think so. I think they very much are. And I think they lean into it because of like the whole nature magic. But this made it fucking cool. Yeah. Like you say, the oneer of like changing into all the different animals running away. Yep. And you saw a head pop up in the knights. Like thing. It's just fun stuff like that. You would not have been able to get away with that many wild shapes in one day. I'll put it out there.
But
I'll allow it.
for this,
but I'll allow it for this. Yeah.
The first time they're putting the painting in the wagon.
Yeah.
With the portals was really fun as well.
Also, was not expecting portals portal mechanics to be in this.
I mean, like we were saying in the commentary track, like when Renee John Page's character comes in.
Yeah.
The hot paladin.
Yeah.
Hot, powerful paladin comes in. Very much bringing big.
Yeah.
DM has to kind of insert himself as an NPC and help
to tell
the
you
gang out.
how to complete the puzzle.
Tells you in the most egregious detail how to complete the puzzle. The players instantly fuck it up. Bridge collapses, and they're like, "Shit! Now how do we homebrew something to fix the fact that this puzzle's impossible?" Now?
That paladin guy was cool. I expected him to be in
the rest.
Part of the gang, you know, as like the kind of Drax character, but he just fucked off. Just
literally walked in a straight line off into the sunset.
Yeah, exactly.
Over the rock.
It was nice to see him back though.
Yep.
What a handsome guy. What a handsome guy, for sure. That's all I have to say about his character, to be honest.
He was handsome guy. He did good.
You know who I wasn't expecting to see in the movie was Bradley Cooper.
When you said early in the commentary track early on, you were like, "Oh, she was married." Then suddenly I remembered. I was like, "Oh yeah, she's married. She definitely was."
I want to see them get together.
It was like, it's like what we were like. Oh, he has a type, big strong women, and then at the end we're like, she has a type, little men.
Yeah, she likes. I put in my notes, short kings.
Short kings.
Short kings. We have a chance, man. We have a chance.
We have a chance. No, I will say though, as funny as it was kind of odd seeing a halfling. Like the proportions of the halfling look quite odd.
Yeah,
it's basically a big human, tiny, rather than what it is, which is
not gonna lie,
half-sized person.
That is the one thing as well that I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I see what they were going for, but they had shoes on.
They had shoes
They all had shoes. They were just little people.
They were just little people.
And like dwarves, you had like, because we saw a dwarf in there. There's a little person caked in prosthetics. That's the only difference between the two, is that a dwarf is actually probably played by a dwarf. Whereas a halfling is
played by a human.
Yeah, sized down.
Sized down with CG.
Some of the force perspective was pretty good.
The one where they're like side by side.
Yeah.
It's all right. But it's whenever they were in single, it was like, that's a tiny person. That's a shrunk down person.
Yeah. I think that if they're gonna do something like that again, you gotta go back to the Lord of the Rings style, I think. Because I think people can kind of notice that it's just a regular guy that's been shrunk down.
But I guess also it's like we know what Bradley Cooper
that is
like
true. That is true.
So I guess the joke doesn't work as much when it's not Bradley Cooper.
That is true. That is true. We liked the little people. The little people were cool. We liked all the other D&D races actually as well.
Yep.
Like
the Aarakocra,
most of them seemed like practical effects as well.
I can't remember what the name for the cat people are. Tabaxi, that's it. Tabaxi.
The baby Tabaxi.
It's coming out of the fish.
Big fish, like. That's great.
They're like as a puppet as well. It's like
that's
a mechanical
great.
puppet.
Loved it.
It was so like Jim Henson always, where it's like
the world building that they've done is great. Yeah.
I will say they did. I don't want to say take the easy way out, but they chose to show like the only non-human races. They chose the ones which are like very animal.
Yeah.
It's like they chose the Tabaxi, the Aarakocra, where you're like, that's a big eagle. Yeah. That's a big cat.
Yeah.
They want like, but they didn't like no Githyanki. We saw one orc.
Yeah, one orc at the beginning.
The tiefling.
No goblins.
No goblins. The tiefling does have horns, does have tail, doesn't have the skin tone.
Yeah.
Whitewashed tiefling.
Yeah. How dare they?
They've whitewashed
yet again. We're not getting racist in this podcast.
No,
can't keep doing that. You can't keep saying wild shit like that in the commentary, man. Like, we heard what you said about the elves. Like,
whoa. Okay, I know some of my best friends are elves.
Yeah. Lack thereof, by the way.
Like that, we saw half elf Simon, but yeah, again, that was another odd one where it's like the elves seem easy to do. Stick some ears on.
Yeah. Stick some ears on a bloke and
it's Paramount. They can take. Chris Pine could have walked over to the Star Trek set and stolen Spock's ears.
Vulcan ears, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Vulcan are basically space elves anyway.
Like, they are. Seychelles from the planet Vulcan.
yeah.
There is no. Okay. This is serious business, Tyler. This is serious business. Okay.
For safety, one more. The podcast you are listening.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that.
Okay.
I don't know if I could see them doing a sequel with these characters again.
Well, I keep seeing people say like they should do a sequel with the same cast, but they play different
characters. As if, yeah, that
So it's
would
like
be
a
quite
different
good.
campaign kind
That
of thing.
I'd actually like to see.
That would be quite fun.
Yeah.
No, and to be fair, what we're saying right now with the races, not a knock on the movie. This is us being nitpicky because we know they exist out there.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We'd love to see it. That does not dock points from this movie.
It comes from a wanting more, I think.
Yeah.
Which I for sure would want to see a sequel for this. But I have only heard things that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, well, that's why we're doing it for one more for safety. It did not do well at the box office.
This DVD that you've brought is what's tipped Paramount over.
We hope.
We've finally made our money back.
We are starting the campaign for a D&D 2
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
I actually think what you said would be fucking good. Like if it was like, because they did the one on Faerun.
Yeah.
I think that they should do one in Ravenloft, which is the kind of grim dark horror fantasy. Why don't they just do that where they jump to different settings? You should, like you say, still keep the same actors, but playing different characters in the different ones.
What I think is if they want to play safe right now, they should do a Baldur's Gate thing. They've already mentioned it in the movie. Great fun. I mean, but in Baldur's Gate 3, huge game. Like, game of the year, obviously, last year. And, like, bringing people who don't really play video games to play that kind of game is, like, an achievement in and of itself. But I think it's just the story.
Well, I mean, like, the reason why this has done so well, and well, it hasn't done well, but at least compared to the first Dungeons and Dragons film that had
with,
fucking
Michael Irons.
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons. Sorry, I'm thinking of Michael Ironside, different guy.
And the fucking, is it Marlon Wayne? Something like that. One of the Wayne's brothers.
Is he? I can't remember. Holy shit.
He plays an elf called Snails, I think. Yeah. It's a very weird film, but like it's better. It's better than this. No, it's not as good as this. This is better than the first one. Okay, but the reason why I think D&D's gotten so popular anyway is because of mainly Stranger Things. I'd say is like the big thing for it.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that like that's like what I was saying with like pop culture osmosis, where it's like people kind of know it exists.
Exactly.
But they won't know like the details.
But I think if they did Baldur's Gate, it would kind of unite the video gamers, the tabletop gamers, and the normies. Yeah.
Normies.
Our oppressors.
They don't understand.
Yeah. I think that, but I could also imagine them doing like a sigil thing, which is like multiversal. Because we can't get enough of multiverses right now.
I'm done. I'm over it. I'm done with multiverses.
The 3 years that it was.
You dig on multiverses? No, I'm over it now. I mean, like, it was fun when it was like only the comics people knew, and it was just like, oh, so every once in a while we do this weird event where it's like we
I like
travel
that
to
too.
different universes. Now it's just like a thing.
I think now when you think of like a film or television franchise, people now see it as like multiverses. Right? It's like, oh yes, like we have the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but we have multiples in those universes. Same with Star Wars, we have the What Ifs and the.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just named 2 Disney products, so I can't really say anything else. But like
the Disney multiverse.
Yeah, but like I feel like if they were to do a sequel, I could realistically see them doing something that's multiversal, like you go to different worlds in Faerun. But I would like to just see them dot about to the different worlds, but not have them necessarily connected. other
Yeah,
than
I don't-
actors. Like you
I
said.
don't think it requires connection. I think the fun of it is like it's just like
An
it's a new
adventure.
adventure.
Yeah,
Yeah, in a different corner of the
Yeah,
of the world.
it has no sequel like tug at all. Like
No.
it doesn't allude to it at all, which
It's
is
like
what I
it's
quite liked. It was a
self-contained.
very self-contained
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's that weird thing where it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it's like when you have like a world, like when I say world, like let's say like Faerun in this case, where it's like
Mhm.
this adventure of Honor Among Thieves takes place in a corner. They go to Neverwinter and they're going to the
Yeah.
Emerald Enclave and all that. It's like this is where they're hanging out.
Yeah.
You do another story, same world, but different
just different
corner,
part of the
different
world,
part of
yeah.
the world.
'Cause only
that feels more expansive. To me, it feels
I
more
agree with that.
expansive than being like, this is one universe. There's another adjacent universe, and
but they're not connected at all.
that actually feels emptier.
You know,
than,
I actually agree with you on that.
than a
because
populated
I have a
world.
friend of mine who's running a D&D campaign.
Mm-hmm.
He runs multiple campaigns, but he's done it in a way of like, so like each campaign is its own universe, and you know, maybe we'll have some universe collide, but probably not.
Right.
Whereas like what I do with my campaign is that it's all the same world, but just different times and different places within that world, you know? And I think you're right, it fills out the world. Rather than making it bigger and more empty, you're actually limiting the scope, but making that scope
weirdly enough,
more in depth, I think.
yeah, it's like the difference between like Skyrim and Starfield.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yes, the Skyrim world smaller, but
Mhm.
denser. It's a denser world.
like a-
Starfield's wider, it's bigger, there's more stuff out there to do, but it feels emptier.
It's the difference between a large swimming pool that's not very deep and a small swimming pool that is very deep.
Yeah.
You can have that analogy for free.
Shallow, you meant to say it for the first one.
Oh, you know what I meant.
You large shallow pool versus small deep pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what one do we prefer? The
Shallow
deep
pool,
one.
shallows.
Yeah. The audience will understand the analogy. They get this.
They'll
They
get it.
get us.
They're smarter than us.
Yeah. We don't need to spoon feed. We give you 2 + 2 and you make the answer up. And we'll say yes to whatever answer that is.
It was funny though, obviously, you brought it up in the commentary track. I love the Oceans movies. I think they're like some of my
This is
favorite.
my next point.
Yeah, it's some of my favorite like comfort watches. They're so good. I love Oceans 12 a lot.
I don't understand how.
What do you mean?
Ocean's 12.
Yeah.
That's the French one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's I don't.
Oh, come on.
I don't know if I can agree with you on that one.
Okay, well, this will be for a different discussion maybe. All I'm saying is I like the visuals of Ocean 12 way more than the other two. Not to say that the other two are bad, by the way. I love all three. Great trilogy. I'm saying Ocean's 12 is like innovative in how it shoots certain things. Like it's like
Maybe I need to watch it again because I haven't seen it.
it shoots things unconventionally a lot of times.
Oh.
Okay, that's my
Maybe I
pitch.
will have
That's
to,
my pitch to
maybe.
everyone out there. If you're listening, go watch Ocean's 12.
Yeah.
But in this movie, I didn't realize it so much the first time, but it really is like a magicked up Ocean's 11.
I wrote it down on here. Ocean's 11 in fantasy with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it's Edgin's 5.
Yeah, like it really does feel
Or 6, I guess, if you count
the Hot Paladin.
the
guy.
Hot Paladin.
Yeah, let's include him.
That's included.
But like, no, it's literally Ocean's 11. Like they're going to a big place where everyone gambles and bets and plays games.
The guy who leads the big gambling area has a personal grudge with the team.
Yeah.
Also has stolen a close familial relation from said main character.
Exactly, which is why he's actually going to win them back.
He's going to steal, but he's not really going to steal. There's a secondary.
He's going to steal a child.
Steal a child back.
Really, it's about the money, but who knows?
And there's even like the line when Holga is talking to tiny Bradley Cooper. And
Oh
and
yeah.
she says like,
yeah.
does she make you happy?
Doesn't make me sad or come in drunk. And
Yeah, exactly. Which is
angry.
like based
Same
straight
thing.
up a
Same thing.
Same, almost the same thing
Just
said in
changed the
Ocean's
setting
11. Yeah.
from a nice restaurant to this
From
guy's
a nice
house.
Las Vegas casino to a
Yeah.
tiny halfling
Yeah.
house in the woods.
Nice house.
Nice house. Hey, Imran here, reminding you we also post live commentary episodes of the movie we're talking about the following week. So make sure you tune in if you want to watch along with us.
With facts like how Viggo Mortensen broke his toe in the film of the
Shh,
2000s.
shh, shh, shh. We don't talk about that.
Sorry. Who was your favorite character in this film? Just wanted to throw that one out there.
Oh, I think it's gotta be Simon.
Yeah,
It's gotta be
it's
Simon.
in my notes, best character. Simon. Yeah.
It's gotta be Simon.
We spoke about this in the commentary as well, I think. But he is the DM's character.
Yeah.
Whereas like the paladin is what
the paladin
players
is the
think.
DM's NPC.
Yes, yeah.
Simon's the DM's character when he gets to play for
yeah,
real
exactly.
when someone else is DMing.
I think there's just something fun about being or watching an incompetent person.
Like bumbling
yeah,
through.
yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly. He's socially awkward.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
It's like as the DM, when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, as the DM, you have to be the kind of straight. You have to be the funnel a lot of the time to like guide people. Then when you're playing, you get
can
to
be the
you
chaos.
get to make the decision
Yeah.
of I am going to commit hard
Yeah.
to a certain like character trait that is objectively bad.
Yeah.
A bad like build for a character.
Exactly.
It's
I'm
not
gonna do it anyway.
but I'm doing it anyways because it's entertaining.
Yeah,
It's very
sure.
entertaining.
No, that's part of the thing, I think. It's like as a DM, you want to guide the players, but when you're playing and you were a DM, you're like, how can I fuck things up?
Yeah, how can I
gonna
be
make
the
things
chaos
difficult,
engine?
actually? But no, he is the best character. He had the best lines, I'd argue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he has the arc of like believing in himself kind of thing. Very funny to be when he's like trying to attune, and the thing that like gets him through attunement is
Just
like
smacking the shit
out of his ancestor.
Yeah.
He's like, you finally stood up for yourself.
But then
kind
it
of thing.
turned
You
into
believed in
him.
yourself.
So was it like an idea that he was
he was holding himself back, kind of
yeah.
thing. It's
Not
like,
that he was actually him.
no, it was the vision of the great grandfather is like the manifestation of his legacy halting himself, his fear of the legacy,
Yeah.
halting him from finding his own true potential.
But all right, he has the best.
He bitch slaps it into
Yeah,
the next
fuck you.
dimension.
No,
Yeah.
he has the best character exposition dump / exploration in the sense of like he doesn't have any exposition dump or flashback, which is one thing I was going to talk about. Was there are a lot of flashbacks in this movie?
Yeah,
like,
yes.
Like we delve into each character at least once. I feel like in quite a lot of lengths, if not the same character twice. I think.
Weirdly enough, actually, that's what I was going to bring up because we get some really fun, great deep dives into Edgin, Chris Pine's character, Holga, Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Simon, of course, played by Justin Smith. But poor
Tiefling girl.
the Tiefling girl,
Didn't
Sophia
get nothing.
Lillis's character. I can't even.
She
We didn't even write her
dialogue.
name down.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
She doesn't. She gets the short end of the stick of
No,
the
she
gang,
does. She does, to be fair.
which is a shame.
She's the one that has the least amount. I'd say that they go into Chris Pine's character like a lot, but I don't feel like it was unnecessary because obviously he's the main character and he's the one
lead.
that has it. I like Holga, but that's just because what's the actress name again?
Michelle Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez. I just like her a lot.
But no, there is.
And that's what I'm gonna say on that. No. And then Simon's funny, but yeah, she got a little dialogue, which was like,
She's like, we know.
my parents are human. They didn't like me, therefore
but she
I
doesn't
don't
get
like any humans.
She doesn't get a flashback,
No.
and she kind of has that kind of thing of like she comes in almost as like a romantic.
Yeah.
Sub-
yeah.
Not subplot, but like she comes in as like I used to, like Simon says, like I used to try and court her, kind of thing, and that's how she gets folded into the
Romantic
thing.
tension, yeah.
Which there is none, by the way. There is
Hey,
none.
You are right. For the whole film, it is very strictly platonic.
Yeah.
Which I quite like again because like romance in D&D campaigns can be like hit or miss anyway.
Yeah.
And like they'd already played a lot with
it's
the
like
heartstrings and stuff like that. Anyway.
You need like a couple at the D&D table for it to really work.
I
and
think
even
so.
then, it's like the couple like not one to.
Yeah, I think so. I think
role-play.
You can do it, but
It's
I just
possible.
think you have to kind of talk about it because it's like
Yeah, you need to agree. Well, the players need to agree. Before,
yeah, exactly. It can't be a forced thing, obviously. But like
just like in real life, by the way.
Yeah.
Just like in real life.
You can do it, but it's not morally right.
Don't force yourself upon people, all right, listeners?
Yeah, you should know better.
You should know better.
No means no.
Yes.
No means no.
No, sorry. No means I'm agreeing.
You're getting
to the
confused
no.
again. You're getting confused. Yeah.
No means yes.
Yeah.
No. No means no.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on, I gotta keep testing you.
Yeah.
Next week I'll test you on.
All right.
Yeah.
I will
Study.
Do better now. I'll study. No means no. No, but yeah. So it's a shame. No, but yeah. Fuck.
It's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going.
It's a shame that she gets the least kind of amount of backstory because she's also like the one which is the most magic. Magic. What I mean by magic, she's the most fantastical of the four.
She uses way more magical stuff.
She's the most like D&D thing, where it's like she's got the wild shaping. She's a tiefling.
I still feel like That being said, actually, I have got to say, did she really need a big character backstory?
For her purpose, not necessarily.
I think it would have been nice.
But it would have been nice.
Yeah. But like she still had awesome moments, if that makes sense. And still, like I didn't feel like she was just dead weight in the party. Do you get me?
Yeah, it's like balanced out by the fact that she gets the flashy set pieces.
She has the most, I feel like, to do actually, flashy wise. Like she's constantly sneaking into places and
MVP,
changing.
For sure. Carrying the team.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But then, like, you do just see, because like I was also surprised by the hot paladin guy, who just kind of wanders in and wanders out.
Do we want to call him Zaz, or do we keep referring to him as
paladin
hot
guy?
paladin? All right, hot paladin
guy.
Hot paladin guy.
He gets a flashback though, and he's only in it. Like he literally wanders in and out. He takes him to the Underdark, but we get a full. Again, I suppose it tells you the whole evil curse thing. That we're doing,
which is why it gets like. I guess that's why he gets a flashback, because it's double purpose of like the Red Wizard stuff. But that makes it even weirder that he didn't join the gang at the end. Kind of thing,
he's
for
like,
the
I'm
final
off
fight.
now, lads.
I'm off. You guys can handle that shit.
Even though I have a personal connection to this, I'm not interested.
I'm letting you do
I'm
this.
going to continue saving cats out of fish's mouths.
Yeah, that was a bit odd.
But he does come back.
He does come back, but it would have been nice to have the tiefling to get a little bit,
and to know her name,
and to know her name, the tiefling.
That is true. I feel like because the names are.
It's like we
fancy.
know Simon because Simon is just a name
just
kind of
a
thing.
dude's
We
name.
remembered Simon, aside from the fact that he's a great character. We just were like Simon.
Because we even started just called
Everyone
Chris
else,
Pine.
Chris Pine is Chris Pine until it was like about an hour in. We're like Edgin. Okay, Edgin. That's his name.
And Holger, I suppose.
Holger. Yeah.
But I think other than that, I think all the characters were very memorable.
Yeah,
I mean, like
it's funny that you brought up like the platonic thing, because it is true. It's like in another world, there is a universe out there where this movie has like Holga and Edgin like get together at the end, kind of thing. There is a universe out there where that happens. I'm glad that it doesn't.
You know, actually, I do think there are a lot of pitfalls that they could have fallen into, and there were some that they almost fell into, if not fell into. That being the dead wife.
Oh yeah, dead wife.
Dead wife undercovers.
Twice.
We finally got there. We
to.
finally got there.
It was like
we're gonna have a dead wife undercovers count. Just you wait. More films are gonna have it.
Dead wife undercovers thing. It's like, sometimes listeners out there, if you're married or you're going to be married,
You gotta
you know what? Even if you're just in a relationship,
You gotta get that dead wife.
you gotta
on the
get
covers shot.
You
Like,
need like the pearliest white blankets you can find. Go to your bed, get under it. Both of you face each other.
preferably during the day, so
Preferably
you get that
during the day,
nice
so you get
lighting,
beautiful backlight,
Yeah,
and just sit in it for about
just stare at each other.
a good minute, so you can have that memory.
Yeah,
in
that you
the
can
event
always look back on in
one
case
of you
they
dies.
die. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's just got to be part of the marriage ceremony.
That's
to be
in the
honest.
vow.
Like, yeah.
It's in the ceremony.
Yeah. Okay.
And now we bring out the ceremonial bed.
Yeah. Thank God they're just
They're just gonna stare
for
at
a
each
minute.
other.
For a minute. Nothing else.
Nothing else. Everyone else, be quiet.
But yeah, there were some things like flashbacks for my taste. Like I'm not a biggest fan of them sometimes, and there were a lot, but I was not mad at a single one of them. I don't think. I think I made fun of them, but like I wasn't like, oh, for fuck's
But that's
sakes.
what we're here
like,
to do.
Yeah. That's what we do here. We pretend to like movies, but in any case, just make fun of them and then each other. That's what you're here for.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, but no, like there were a lot of things that I think, like you said, if under a different director or if
Different writing team.
or
you know.
different writing team, it could have just been really shit. But it wasn't.
It wasn't. It could have been very, not as a shit, by the numbers. I think.
Yeah.
I think worse than being shit is being boring. Like,
Yeah,
it would have
for
just been
sure.
like something that we would have felt like we've seen a bajillion
Time and time
times.
again. Yeah.
Which is why I liked where it was the turn of like we have the Revivify stone.
Yeah.
Can only use once. The plan is we bring the wife back. Then
But,
Holga gets the red blade, and it's like fully platonic, just like gotta bring her back. She's our friend.
Yeah. I love
Kind of
that
thing.
too. I literally wrote here, rip Holga, and then when that happened, I put psych, resurrection
We're
stone.
back.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about murdering your ex-wife, co-worker, or that person who catches your heel in the street?
Yes.
Well, you probably have a lot of free time on your hands, so why not check out the audio commentary of that thing that we're watching, where we might discuss that.
Oh.
Probably.
Oh. Have you seen the original, the first D&D movie? Because I know you identified the TV show characters.
Yeah.
I've never seen either of those.
I have seen some of the TV show. I have not seen the film. I just know who's in the film. And that
Yeah, I
is
did Google it, and Marlon Wayans is
Marlon
in.
Wayans is in it.
He's
and
in it.
Fucking Jeremy Irons, who apparently gives a performance of a lifetime in that movie. But I have not seen it. I have
Okay.
not seen it. We should put it on our list.
Oh my
we'll
God.
work back.
We'll work backwards. We'll do
Uh-huh.
the original D&D
Yeah.
movie.
It was nice to see the TV D&D people make a cameo though. That was always fun.
It was
Probably dead.
probably dead.
Yeah.
It was when they all were like in the cage.
Yeah.
And then the current team were like, this doesn't feel right.
Why the fuck would we go in here?
Well, we need to do a different
Yeah.
route. Could you imagine being those guys? Like,
my face would drop immediately.
you're like,
I'd be
this
"We're
is the
safe,
exit.
We're safe.
And
then
the
you-
second team comes up.
Nah, fuck that.
This doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Runs away. I would shit myself.
Looks up and sees red smoke like coming down.
I would get the fuck out of there.
I
Even if
hope
it
those-
was the accurate choice, the correct
Yeah.
choice, I'd be like, I don't trust it now.
I hope those guys are okay. I hope we see them again. The new film will be on those guys.
I didn't, so when I was in the theater, I obviously didn't recognize them because I've never seen the show. But when you pointed it out and I looked at their costumes, it was very much like, that makes sense.
Classic. Yeah,
Very,
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 classic.
it looks very like classic cosplay kind of
I think
style.
I think in the TV show they're all white. I think there's a black lady.
Just the
Just
one
the
token
Just
black
the
lady.
one. No, we couldn't possibly have too
Oh,
many.
goodness.
of those. Although speaking of race, the race swapping child was an interesting.
Oh my
an
God.
interesting thing. I remember looking at you and being like, should I mention that?
No, but
Like-
it was funny because I'm thinking of it in the back of my head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was odd, but oh well. And then you look at me like, can I say something? I'm like, what? It's about the kid. And I'm like, I know exactly what he's about to say
wild.
right
It's
now.
wild. I couldn't not see it. I was like, I understand they can't have the same child age up in
I mean,
production, but like,
In the flashbacks, the mom does look quite fair skinned.
yeah.
So maybe she just grew into the fair
Yeah,
skin.
maybe you're right. Maybe she started browner and then like.
No, yeah. So
Yeah.
that
was an interesting thing, I must admit.
I do want to point while we're talking about those earlier sections. Chris Pine's wig in this movie.
Is it a wig the whole time?
It's not a wig the whole time.
Because that's the one thing I was actually also kind of looking at was like, oh, it's...
While we're on the topic of like subtly weird things,
Yeah.
It's not a wig all the time, I don't think, because there's sometimes where it looks okay, like it just
Like
looks like his
regular
hair. But some of those early sections, the hair is so so voluptuous.
Yeah,
and
that's
big.
what I was about to say.
It
You can
looks
tell.
like a Lego
Doll's hair,
It
like...
looks like a Lego headpiece strapped on
Stuck on.
onto the top of the guy's head. So I don't know what was going on there.
What if it was reshoots or something like that?
Maybe
where
because
they were
Chris
like-
Pine has a very nice head of hair, that man.
Yeah, exactly. So why wig him?
Why wig
like,
him?
why already hide such great genes? you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Also, yeah, Chris Pine looks great in this movie.
Great, but
How old is he? Like,
I don't know actually. Well, I mean, in general, I gotta say the costumes throughout the movie, fantastic.
thoroughly enjoyed all of Hugh Grant's
All
evil
his
villain
fits.
clothes.
Yeah, all his fits. I mean, like it was like. Yeah, when we first saw like Chris Pine come to the abandoned house,
Yeah,
and he had the jacket,
Sexy.
khaki pants, the high boots. we
Why
were like,
can't men socially wear shit like that anymore? Why is it no longer socially acceptable
We
to wear
should do it.
knee-high boots and a sweet
Let's
leather
do
jacket?
it, Tyler. Fuck
Yeah.
what the other people say.
Yeah.
Let's dress like that.
Let's make it socially acceptable.
We're bringing back
to
the
wear
the
shit like that.
knee-high boots.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And a cloak or cape to go with it. Bring back cloaks and capes to being socially acceptable attire. Okay? 'Cause you
Exactly.
look cool, or you look mysterious, or on odd occasion, both.
But yeah, no, all the costumes are great.
Yeah.
The set design, like there's way more physical sets than like.
It
I
all
would-
feels very tangible.
Yeah.
Like I have to say, all of the sets and the props, they all felt tangible and lived in.
Yeah.
None of them looked fake or anything like that
Some
to me.
standout places, the Colosseum,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like the Underdark, the red part of
Yeah, I
the
like
Underdark.
the
That was
Underdark.
huge. That was
Yeah.
a big.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the bridges were.
No, you
the
can see there was some green screen stuff
yeah.
there, but like, the
act-
actual
when
ground that they were walking
yeah,
on.
when they were fighting was
yeah.
like that looked pretty good. And when they're at the when they're doing the speak to the dead, speak with the dead,
I've got that on there.
and it was like all of like the graveyard looked
Yeah,
great,
sick. It
Sick.
looks sick.
fantastic.
I had the speak with dead bit as the funniest bit to me because
It's a very
so-
like it's so like laser focused to
yeah.
a D&D
Yeah,
style
sure.
of
So
humor.
funny.
It's like ask 5 questions. Why? It's arbitrary.
Yeah.
You just have to.
Yeah.
And then it's like
Every
misinterpreting what's a
single
question.
answered without actually getting nowhere.
Yeah, no, that was great.
No, I will say that the sets, like I say, everything just felt real.
Yeah.
Didn't like even like when you saw the landscape shots, none of it looked CG like that. I guess the cities
I
were.
mean,
but
there are
like-
some, but like it's not enough to take me out of the movie like some other fantasy
Yeah, exactly,
movies do.
exactly.
It just it felt right sitting alongside all the other stuff.
I think this was probably made in the right time. That's probably why.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like I again going back to the original Dungeons and Dragons film, like I just don't think it was made at the right time.
They didn't have the resources to do
Yeah, like even
it
for
right.
CG to update, so we have fucking dragons and like black dragons, fat dragons,
Yeah.
stone dragons.
The chonkiest of
Yeah,
dragons.
that
by
is
the
a
way.
fat dragon.
That was a fat dragon.
Now I want to have a fat dragon.
I don't know what
in
the
my
hell he was eating
campaign.
in the Underdark.
Yeah.
Like
Everyone apparently.
you're
and
eating everything. That's why the
yeah.
Underdark was so empty.
Yeah.
No other people in the Underdark. That
Yeah.
dragon just ate everything.
We did go past a city in
did
the
go past a
Underdark,
city,
but
and
they
some
were
of the
like,
mine-
that's nice.
Some of the intellect devourers and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh
but
yeah, but no mind flayer.
No mind flayer. A little hint of a mind flayer in the credits though.
Really?
When they were showing all the
Oh,
pictures,
yeah,
they did
yeah,
show
yeah.
the process of a mind flayer happening.
Mm-hmm.
Which is actually, it is funny that they didn't do the mind flayer because obviously it's big in Baldur's Gate 3 and also huge in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So everyone
it's
kind of
the
knows,
big bad.
everyone kind of associates the casuals, I guess, would associate
The
mind flayer.
normies are oppressors.
The goddamn normies.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised they didn't go that route. They went Red Wizards of Fey.
And also they kept things, I suppose the reason why is because like the mind flayers are naturally tied to aliens in D&D.
That's
like,
true, I guess.
So I think, and like those aliens have like spaceships and shit like that.
Not lords.
So I think for a first film, they wanted to keep things grounded in Faerun.
Yeah.
You know, because like everything that they see,
It's very, this one's very like classic magic fantasy. Kind
Yeah,
of thing.
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Hey, Tyler here. You're listening to the One More for Safety podcast. Do you suspect your husband is having an affair? Well, keep listening to this podcast as a distraction to your loveless marriage.
Jesus Christ. It doesn't. It's like this feels like the right time for it to be able to be made. This kind of movie.
I think so.
It would have been impossible to do it
Any
like this back
earlier,
then.
yeah, any earlier, I think it would have been just a bit too difficult to try and do all of the magic and the like aliens, all of the races and the world and stuff.
I don't even think it's so much the magic. I think the magic could have been done. I think it's the thing. It's like you are with the way we can do VFX now and special effects and sound. What we can capture is the way certain players utilize the magic.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's all well and good to do a fireball or something like that. That would have been possible.
Yeah.
But it's like how they did like players using certain abilities in ways that you wouldn't expect to like.
It's
like
not just
this,
I cast this.
like the wild shaped snake inside of the gelatinous cube.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
And then also, it just a very like the finger with the candle.
yeah,
thing,
yeah, with
like,
the setting the
yeah.
gas in the little cave on fire to explode it. Yeah,
Just little things like that I thought were really nice.
because it's the kind of thing where it's like when it captures that creative thinking at the D&D table of like trying to game it in a way that's like unexpected.
Play the system a little bit.
Play the system
Yeah.
a little bit.
But you know what, actually, another thing I got to give this film props for is they took the actual property and the world of D&D at its utmost seriousness. And that's not to say that it's a serious film, because they obviously have jokes and make fun of certain things.
I mean, Speak with the Dead is the,
exactly.
is the biggest example.
But it
of
takes it seriously.
Yeah.
Like there's no like wink and nod to the
joke,
audience.
Yeah,
Like,
the
it's-
joke with the dead talk is like the people messing it up.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's funny. It's not necessarily like, why is it like, the joke isn't like, oh, we can speak to dead people, we can only say 5 questions, and that's the humor of it. It's like us fucking up asking the questions.
Again, it's like it's not like trying to take a dig on the world and how stupid it is. It's
Well, I
kind
guess-
of taking it's taking the confines of the world and then having fun within it, rather than like trying to break it or question it.
In a way, the movie has to, because the emotional crux at the end of bringing Holga back requires you to buy into like the magic of the world.
resurrection,
Yeah, it's like there is like a thing that can revive someone one use,
But it's not
kind of
easy
thing.
at
But it's
all.
not easy, exactly. It's like it has to feel earned. Like yeah,
And
I
that
mean,
comes from taking the magic seriously.
takes you to make the
yeah.
magic seriously, the world seriously, all the MacGuffins seriously.
That was another thing. There's a lot of MacGuffins in this film.
But that's so.
I
D&D.
really tried to keep track of them all. There's a tablet, there's a horn,
Tablet,
there's a
helm,
helmet, there's
horn, yeah, exactly.
there's a painting portal. I mean, that comes later, but still, like, there's a numerous items that I had to keep track of.
It's fetch quests.
Yeah, it is a series of fetch quests.
You gotta go
which is very D&D adventure. Which again, I don't. Yeah, I feel like none of these criticisms, if we call them, are actual criticisms, because
No, it's an acknowledgement more so.
Because all of them, I still think, were utilized well, and the story isn't harmed for it.
Yeah.
But there was just a point where I was like, wow, there's a series of flashbacks and MacGuffins. Like,
Yeah.
my screenwriting teacher would not be happy with this movie.
Exactly. Like,
I don't know what I'd give it. I haven't come up with a
You don't
good
need to give it a
rating
star
system.
rating.
I don't know. But we did one before.
When we
the shelf thing.
The shelf thing. When we did Constantine, it was like
back of the shelf, front of the shelf kind of stuff.
back,
right?
front, top shelf. Like, are you gonna resell this Blu-ray kind of thing? What's your feeling? I
thoroughly enjoyed the film.
Are you buying it on DVD or are you buying it on Blu-ray? Actually, that's a good question.
That's a decent one.
Are you shelling for the extra?
No, I think I did DVD. I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I don't think it's a fucking like mind-bending, life-changing like masterpiece or anything like that. Like it's not changed my life.
Yeah.
But I will say, if this film was on my shelf and I had some free time, I would probably watch it.
Wouldn't mind popping it on.
I would probably watch it again.
Have a good time.
Because exactly. You know that you're gonna get into a fun world where you're just gonna have a good time, like with the adventure and the characters and the comedy of it all. But again, I just wouldn't say it's like. That's why I kind of agree with you. I wouldn't call it like a 4 out of 5 or anything like that. Like.
Exactly.
I wouldn't say it hits that band, but I would say it's more than a 3.
Well, then I think
it's a solid film that you will be entertained by.
I think we got to keep running with. the shelf thing.
Yeah.
The shelf rating system. So I'd say, get it on DVD, maybe on sale, not bargain bin. Get it on sale.
Yeah.
Like if you see it 60-50% off, pick it up on DVD. Have it on your shelf. You might not watch it all the time, but every once in a while you'll look at it and be like, that was a fun time. I'll put that on.
I would say that's a comfortable bottom shelf, but front of the shelf.
There you go.
Do you get what I mean?
There
like
you
it's
go.
like
I think I agree.
It's not the first thing I'm gonna pick out, but it will be there because I've seen it before, and if I see it again, then I'll watch it. Is that like if it catches my eye, I'll watch it again.
Exactly. If you feel like it in that moment, you're like, I'll put it on.
Yeah. Fun.
Very
fun film.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
That was Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Yes.
We have to figure out what we do next time.
Yes.
We haven't figured it out.
Leave us in the comments.
You know what?
All of Imran's family. Tell us.
Mom, Dad.
Tell us what to watch next.
No, I think we'll post it on Instagram somewhere.
We'll do a poll.
We'll do a poll. I don't think. No, we'll do one of those. What do you call it? I don't use Instagram.
The comment things. Like,
where
they
you can send in responses.
I've also got a few films up my sleeve that I might bring forward.
There you go.
You know.
I think maybe we don't tell it on the podcast, or do it. Do we want to?
No.
Don't tip our hand.
What we should do, we should come up with a way of like teasing what next week is without confirming what next week is in case we decide not to watch
change
next
our
week.
mind.
So we keep guessing. We're like,
Ooh, I have a good idea. I have a good idea in that case. We're not doing this right now, but like maybe Imran in the edit bay will do this.
Yeah.
I will get a snippet of audio from the next movie.
Yes.
And I'll play it after this, and the listeners can kind of... That'll be the tease.
Can guess.
If they can figure out where that line comes from, what movie that line comes from, that'll be what we're watching.
I'm also going to guess prematurely, even though you're going to edit this in later.
Okay.
I'm going to guess prematurely.
Shoot in the dark now.
What is next on our...
Listeners, he's looking around my
looking
living
around
room
the
right
DVD
now.
section.
He's looking at my
the
collection.
top, middle, and bottom shelves.
But remember, it's one more for safety, so it's actually stuff that...
Back shelf stuff.
It's actually back and bottom shelf stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we spoke about this before, but I don't know if you've got it, which was that I was... the Lone Ranger, I know, was on there.
That was a potential
I'm
pick.
putting that one out there.
Okay.
Putting a classic Johnny Depp Native American impression in there. The listeners will love it.
The classic team up of Johnny Depp and Armie Hammer.
Yes.
The nicest guys in Hollywood.
hey, Johnny Depp's a nice guy. And that Armie Hammer, yeah, you know.
Let's just say really loves humans.
Yeah, he's a real big fan.
Real big fan of them. Okay, so you think...
That's my guess is
we
the
might
Lone
do
Ranger.
Lone Ranger next week.
Yeah.
All right, well, cut to the audio clip now.
But I cannot decide whether this horse is stupid or pretending to be stupid. Tricky.
Whoa!
Wow!
It's that film.
that
I had
film.
no idea. Or I did have an idea.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Anyways, that was One More for Safety. Thank you so much for listening, everyone.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye. Bye.